This is not only a recording of, but it's also a rehearsal of the same thing at the same time, because I already did it. This is weird. See, I thought this ahead of time and then I recorded it. Everything is a rehearsal. Everything is a rehearsal. So think about this. When you go somewhere and you're worried about going there and you get there and you're already worried before you get there, the rehearsal was worrying and you think you're going to be feeling weird. When you be on your way to anywhere you go, just start saying to yourself, picture it ahead of time. A really good example of that, the picturing and mental rehearsal before you go somewhere, is like, say when you go to an amusement park, when you're on the way, you're like, oh man, when we get there we're gonna hit the raptor first and then we're gonna hit the monster dunker, and you're like, yeah, you're already seeing how fun it's gonna be, and then you have a great time because you pre-planned it. You weren't like, we're gonna get there and it's gonna be shitty. If you get there and you're like, if you're on the way there talking about how boring and everything else is in life, and you get there hoping that when you get there it's gonna be fun, and you didn't think about it and look into it and get excited about it before you went, you're not gonna get that excited about it when you're there, except for when you're there, because you're not gonna create neural pathways in your brain besides the immediate one that doesn't hold on because it doesn't stick in your subconscious memory. The longer you hold a thought, the more real it becomes. So every experience is enlightened or brightened by the degree that you expect it or want it. Like, I'm pulling up to this Dollar General and I'm thinking about it before I go in, and I'm thinking I'm going to go in and tell them they're the greatest people in the world because they're reflections of me, and they are, and I'm the greatest person in the world. And I mean, maybe not really to most people, but I know that I'm God. So, I mean, how crazy is that? I mean, it's fun to say. It is fun to say, and I can actually prove it. I can prove it in every sense. And as time goes on, I'm going to get more and more and more obvious answers that everyone will understand, but people will still not want to listen because they've been stuck in their religion for all this time with their false beliefs and, a story to stick to, because you got to have faith. And if somebody believes so hard in a faith that was given to them from an outside source, and they say, I gotta have faith in this outside source, because it's now my inside source, because guess what? I brought it inside and let it there. Oh, is that how things work? Oh, it is how things work. Have you ever gone inside and found it there? Go inside and find it there now. Listen to what I'm saying and think about what you actually think already and compare the two. And guess what? You will find the answer. Maybe religious people can do this really simply by meditating, listening to my stuff, and thinking about what you were told. Try that. I love you. You're all my very best friends in the whole wide world. I love all the guys. I love all the gals. I'd kiss all the ladies and I'd shake all the man hands. That's it. But, sweet loving, that's divine, I think. I mean, that's why I've always been the way I've been about sex. And it's not a bad thing. It's just, we don't have to have anything. You don't have to have rules and limits between anything. I mean, you could do whatever you want to do. You could turn into a mass murderer, but I don't want that to happen, and I don't want anyone to do that. Please don't do that, because you're going to go in the afterlife and your negative vibration is going to carry you to a place you don't want to be, and you'll think you're God in the next life, and you'll think you're a demon, and you'll come back, and you never know. This stuff does happen, and the way it happens is true belief. You got to have true belief. If you truly believe that you're the devil, you'll become the devil. That'll just be what we call you, but it'll be God angry in the form he's in. That's what it was. That's all everything is. The spiritual stuff and all this stuff, those were created in people's minds, and they were thought of to be so real that they became real. Maybe not even in physical. Some of them were just spiritual things that people saw. Spiritual things they saw. Oh, those are real. Believe the spiritual things. Guess what? They are real on one plane. But in the same sense, just like everything, just like there's space between the universe and space between the multiverse and space between each planet. There's a call coming in, but I don't care. I'm talking right now. This is important. This might be Matt. Hello? 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 Call ended. You bossed it. 81% at 11:11. That's funny. What was I saying? So, honestly, I don't really know exactly what I was just saying because I got distracted as a damn thing. We got a telephone call. I wasn't going to answer, and I thought it might have been Matt, so I had to answer, and it was nobody, of course. I got to finish my last stop, and, well, I don't have to, but anyway, that's what I was saying. You become a mass murderer and all that stuff, but I prefer no one does that because that's just going to cause the world to keep in its tailspin we've been in. As soon as everyone stops killing, as soon as everyone stops feeling negative about anything that's going on, not even as soon as everyone stops killing. I mean, I guess you could kill happily somehow, I don't know, but the person that died, unless they were happy when they died, Like if all the people that were sick and dying volunteered to die and knew that they were going to a better place where they actually understand where they're going, and all the people that were healthy helped them die and killed them whatever way they wanted to, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's horrible to think of in that way, but as a human being, I think that way. But it wouldn't be horrible, but it would be a way to purge, I guess, but then it would be the end. It would be the end of all, violence towards each other. It would be end, like we'd chop trees and all that stuff, but we'd bless them before we did. We would raise animals and we'd grow crops and we'd bless them before we ate them, and we would treat them very good while we took care of them. They would look forward to joining us, but they would understand that we're the higher intelligence that they do want to be part of. I mean, that sounds really weird, but that's everything that was supposed to happen all along. It was everything that was supposed to happen all along. I can tell us all the answers. Time will go on, and I will grow to be so old, and I will tell us all the stories of all time, and it's the greatest gift to have been given. I mean, I'm trying to be humble, but I'm blown away. I mean, wouldn't you be blown away if your mind just would not let you stop telling I'm like a prophet, not a prophet. I'm the prophet that is getting the real answer. I'm getting the real answer. I mean, I've been under the water and in the ocean, but I can't talk like a fish. So, I mean, and we don't have very much understanding of underwater. So once we start learning how to go underwater, I mean, my son said something the other day about an underwater car, and guess what? He said that for some reason, because God thought that was an option, the God beyond us, that wasn't operating through me, or maybe it was operating through me through some space-time continuum that came back and forth and jumped from my mind to Oliver's mind. Who knows? I believe any of those things are possible. This is crazy stuff, and we can learn about the ocean, we can learn about the space, we can learn about whatever, but I honestly don't care about space, because God is telling me that we should make sure we take care of what's here now, because most of space, there are places where other things live, and they're not aliens. Everything is just an essence of God in whatever creation it believes it to be. I know that's hard to understand, but there are things other places, and it doesn't matter. They may be creatures or giant bugs or aliens, but that's what we'd call them. But all they are is just different life forms, man. That's all they are. And if they came here, we'd have to treat them with unconditional love, because then we would just start a war. That's all we would do, and that's what we would be trained to do, because our beliefs are survival mode. But that's because everyone was scared when they popped up in their original God forms, being like, oh my God, what do I do? You know what I mean? Of course they don't know what to do. But right now, this day, as soon as you hear this for the first time in your life changed, and we changed the epic, biblical, theoretical, every possibility of humankind we changed. So I'm going to answer this because it's another Pennsylvania call. It might be Matt.